Good morning. This is Faith in Our Hometown, brought to you as a community service and sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Joplin. And now, here is your host, Father Jay Friedel.
Happy Sunday and welcome back for another Sunday morning on Faith in Our Hometown. It's always good to be with you. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about that community service aspect of what we do as a show. And on that community service aspect, one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that we're taking care of our kids, making sure that our kids are safe. So joining me this morning are going to be Jen Black, who's the Executive Director of the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, and Mark Box, who's the Safe Kids Coordinator that works as a part of that alliance. So if you will continue to stick with us, we're going to talk a little bit about this morning about safety and how to make our kids safe and how to make our environment safer for all of our little ones. So we're going to be coming right back after this Mercy Minute. Hope that you'll stick with us and join us for a little bit of a conversation about how to make our kids and their environment safer. Thanks for joining us. Grab your coffee and come on back.
I have arthritis in my knees, and it was just excruciating. I wish I would have done something sooner. I found myself not able to go up and down stairs, which is bad because we realized we were going to have to sell our house. We decided just to take the worst one first, and we did. I was back to work in 6 weeks. 6 months later, I had surgery on the second one, and I'm back to work in 5 weeks. And I was a little scared, a little apprehensive, even though I knew everything that was going to happen. But I was just impressed. Life is short, and I waited. I think I waited too long.
Well, thanks for joining us for another Sunday morning here at Faith in Our Hometown. Again, my guest this morning, Jen Black, who's the Executive Director of the Alliance of Southwest Missouri. Jen, you've been on before talking a little bit about some of the other initiatives of the Alliance. Yes. But today we're doing kids safety, and so that's why we have Mark with us this morning, Mark Box, who is the Safe Kids Coordinator. So talk a little bit about the Alliance real fast, Sure. Introduce yourselves, and then tell us a little bit about kids safety.
Okay. The Alliance has been in the community for 20 years. We're one of 20 community partnerships in the state of Missouri, and very proud of that fact. And we do. Our goal is to make Southwest Missouri the safest place for children and youth to thrive. And so we take that very seriously, and we do that through prevention and safety education. And so tonight we're going to talk about our Safe Kids program, which is one of our key programs to educate children and parents on how to live the safest life possible, if you will.
So Mark, that's where you come in. You're the Safe Kids Coordinator.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do in that job? What do you coordinate?
I work in a partnership with the Alliance for Safe Kids. It's a worldwide organization that target unintentional injuries in young kids and teens. Safe Kids has 400 outlets in all 50 states and 30 other countries partner with Safe Kids. The Alliance took us on as a partner, so we work together, and we also have a coalition we work with. We do 4 to 5 basic programs. We do car safety, we do fire safety, cyber safety. We also have a distracted driving simulator that we run some of the older teens through.
I probably shouldn't get in that distracted driving simulator. I'm sure I'm an accident waiting to happen, but
no, we do find out the parents are just as bad as the teens.
I'm sure. Sometimes, I'm guilty, and we probably all are. So which one of those you want to talk about first? Because they all sound like they're important.
Car seats seem to be our big driver with Safe Kids, and it's probably one of our most popular programs.
Okay.
We do around 300 car seats a year that we install. We try to serve underserved families in the area. For a small donation, we get them a car seat. We do well around 400 seats that we check. If somebody buys a car seat, a new car seat, old car seat that has been taken out, readjusted, anything, we'll be happy to do it for them at the Alliance. And with new car seats and new brand, and it seems like every car seat brand's in a relentless pursuit to be the safest seat. They've made them complicated, and they've made the seats and also the cars. Sometimes they're just hard to put in.
Yeah. So, I mean, you sometimes have to be a contortionist, from what I've heard. I mean, I don't
Yes.
have kids.
Difficult.
I take instructions real well from my friends about how to get their kids into the seats and how to do it all. And I mean, sometimes okay, now check this for me, because they're hard.
They're hard. They're hard to get in. Some of them are hard to get out. And some of the directions are hard, and sometimes some of the parents we run into a lot of the same stuff. The car seats, some of them are put in with seat belts, rear seat belts. We run into a lot of parents that don't activate the ratcheting system on them, which will let the car seat shake freely
Okay.
anytime if they don't engage it. There's a lot of different other aspects and safety stuff that even a phone call, they can call anytime during our business hours, and we'll be more than happy. A lot of that stuff I can explain to them over the phone.
Yeah.
I can go through the directions with them, or they can come by and we'll just help them with it.
Great. So just basically, I mean, that's anybody. And obviously you've got help for some folks who might find it difficult to afford their own car seat,
Yep.
Yeah, so good. All right. So, and those are the two major things, just making sure you get them in there, that you make sure that folks get them and that they're being used properly.
We do, and we have car seat checks. We have them every month. We try to do the last week of the month.
Okay, so you're coming up here in another,
Right.
Another week. Yeah.
And on July 21st, we'll have a car seat check down in McDonald County, and it'll be
Super.
at the fire department down there in which town in McDonald County?
McDonald County will be at the fire department.
Is it in Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And any of the information could be subject to change. If they just get on our Facebook site, sometimes some of those aspects change a little bit.
Yeah.
And they
But
get on
right
there
now
getting
you're
all
kind of
the
scheduled for the
information from
Anderson
us.
Fire Department.
Anderson
there in
on the
Anderson.
21st,
Yeah,
and then
21st.
here in Joplin at the Alliance location, there at the
Anytime
Griffin
pretty
Building
much,
on
yeah.
Main Street. Yep, we'll do that on the 24th. We'll
On the
have
24th.
one as well.
Good.
So.
All right, so there's two coming up for the two counties, which
Yeah.
is great. Okay. Yeah.
They're 9 to 12, and a lot of them are through the week, so obviously not everybody can do them. So we try to work in the people that can't
Right.
reschedule them. We work them in through the week. So
Good. Super.
try not to
All right.
deny anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, obviously you're trying to make sure the kids are safe.
Yep.
So, yeah, putting the car seats in. So, what else you got going? You mentioned 5 programs, so you're a busy
Well,
man.
I do. Well, a lot of the schools anymore, because of cuts and the No Child Left Behind and some of the other stuff that's happened to the schools. Some of the programs got dropped, and it seems like in a lot of the schools, driver's ed's been dropped. So, with the help of MoDOT, a grant through MoDOT, we got a driving simulator, and we take it to the schools. We target 14 to on up to 18-year-olds at the school. We run them through a distracted driving. We can put them on snow, sleet, rain. It has cell phones with it where we can text them while they're driving. We'll put them through it, and then we'll put them through it again while they're texting. Show them how terrible they are at texting when they're driving.
Huh. Which suffers worse, the texting or the drive? No, never mind. Don't answer that question. I remember those crazy simulators from, that was 40 years ago when I was taking
Yeah.
driver's ed. And wow, it's just like they would throw everything in the, in the phone book at you when you were, watching those simulators. People
do.
jumping in front of that stuff. Yeah, it's always very entertaining. So I'm sure it really is kind of an eye opener, for them to see what their performance happens if they're really trying to do more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, and sometimes with the lack of driver's ed, sometimes I just end up teaching them Missouri law and the basics of driving a car. I really didn't realize how far some of the teens were behind since the lack of driver's ed in the area.
Yeah, and so I didn't realize that. So that's been one of
Yeah.
those things that we've been hit with is cutbacks in terms of driver's ed, huh?
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
wow. Okay.
The other neat thing, you're looking at delayed response, so whether that's texting, but then we can also do intoxication levels with that simulator. And so
Right.
whether it be alcohol or drugs that they may be using in the simulation, then they also can see that delayed response if a car pulls out or if a deer runs out, and the difference between driving with a clear mind and sober versus intoxicated.
Yeah.
And so it opens a lot of doors for that conversation as well with teens and preteens.
Good. Well, sometimes it's just, if you find one that's brave enough to get in the simulator and they all get to watch it, then
Right.
everybody gets to comment on how all that stuff works,
Right.
Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, and they got all, I'm amazed at how technology can do some of those things.
And several of the schools, Neosho, Joplin, Monette, I've ran the entire freshman class through 'em. So,
Interesting.
you know, it just depends on what level they are. If they haven't been worked with, sometimes I teach them Missouri law. Sometimes when they're good at it, I throw everything at them. So.
I love it. So if they're really
They're
doing,
probably
if
not
they're
gonna
doing
do
too well,
good.
you kind of crank it up.
Yes, I do.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
I'm going to take
Good
it
for you.
down.
Yep, that's good. Have you done the Catholic schools? Just out of curiosity.
I have not, but I would love to.
Well, that's- I
see
think
how
they're-
your kids are doing.
Let's do it, because trust me, I know
I'm
some
in.
of mine are doing the distracted thing. I am absolutely convinced.
I'm in.
And I've seen them leave the parking lot, so I'm here to tell you that that some of them someone could think, anything that would get them to pay attention a little bit more is always a good thing.
Right.
Always a good thing. And sometimes it just takes somebody to show us what can happen when we're distracted to do it. You know? Yeah. I've gotten better through the years, but I probably still am distracted. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yep.
said, I find a lot of the parents are just as bad as the teens. The message is starting to get through with some of the teens, but we have a lot of problems with parents.
Yeah. Well, that's, it's like, I've taken to, just being much smarter and a lot of times just keeping my phone putting it in the backpack or putting it in the back seat or doing whatever. I still answer the phone when I'm in the car, which is
Yeah.
probably still not good, but at least I'm not, trying to, read the text or doing, it's like, yeah.
Yep.
So, because it's just, it almost is like an appendage to your arm, and we
is.
all get to that point where we're guilty of, and I know I'm on the highway, so, and I'm like,
Right.
ugh.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever did something, I'd feel horribly guilty. So that's why I just kind of started tucking it in the backpack or putting it in the back seat or doing whatever. So
Yeah.
like I say, I'll still answer the phone, but
Sure.
I'm not doing the other stuff, and I was tempted to do that before.
Right.
So it's an
Very
important
wise.
thing. Safety, yeah. And again, especially, like I say, sometimes getting a message home to our teenagers is, that they're not, they think they're immortal,
Right.
and invulnerable. Yeah.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
So that's the safe driving stuff. So like the simulator thing, I want you to come to the Catholic school, and then I want to come over to Macaulay, and
Oh,
then
I'd like to.
then maybe
Yep.
I'll try to come over, and you can put me in there too,
Oh,
just so
I
that I
will.
can see what it's
Oh, I'm
like. I
going
think
to.
it'd be fun.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
I'd love
good.
to.
They would love to see
Yep.
that.
Yeah, the kids would
The
love
kids
to see it.
really,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they would
Yeah.
love to see me be the first guinea
Right.
pig in the thing. Yeah. So those are two. So that's the safe car seats, and that's the safe driving thing. So we're.
That kind of brings me into the cyber safety. with the
Oh,
phone. Like
now cyber safety is going to be one of those things. This is one of those things that we just probably do not ever talk about enough.
Yes.
And we're probably not going to have time to talk about too much before the break, but let's go ahead and start. Cyber
Okay.
safety.
It's a fledgling program for us. We wanted to get involved. It's hard to talk about teens and safety without addressing cyber safety.
Yeah.
So we're getting a program started with Jasper County Sheriff's Department, also one of the IT businesses in the area, and they're going to put some classes on here in the near future at Franklin Technical School. It'll be geared toward parents, and
Good.
it'll be geared toward students.
Good. So, because I think it's again one of those multifaceted approaches that we have to do with so many and in so many different ways, and we're never going to be able to stop
No.
because in some ways, it just keeps getting trickier and trickier. My guest this morning, Jen Black, who's the can't talk this morning, the executive director of the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, and Mark Box, who is the Safe Kids coordinator, and we're talking about safety programs for our kids. So we are going to take a real quick break, and then we're going to be back. So we just got started on the cyber safety thing, and so stick around. We're going to be right back. Don't go away.
You're watching Faith in Our Hometown on KSN TV, brought to you as a community service and sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Joplin.
Well, thanks for coming back and staying with us this morning. Our guests here, Jen Black and Mark Box. We're talking this morning about we're talking about safety for kids in general, but we just got started on cyber safety. So, so you say a fledgling program at this point in time.
It's a fledgling program, and it kind of stemmed from, I went to a local school, and one of the Jasper County detectives that takes care of cyber safety in the area, we kind of listened to what he had to say and got with him, and we decided to do something about it. And I'm just learning, so I can't talk as a professional on this, but I am finding out that the kids get in deep before they think they're a lot smarter than they are. They get
sure.
in too deep when they realize they are. And I'm finding out that parents think they're smarter than their kid when it comes to the cyber world. And the kids have really got the parents outsmarted on this. So
Well, it's
we're trying to bridge the gap.
yeah, and it's scary. And we had some detectives in to talk to some of our parents about, some of these issues. And I mean, again, it's one of those things that we got to just keep doing it because, we get more kids coming up through the ranks, more parents doing their things. I mean, it's just every kid almost anymore has a smartphone.
Right.
And so because of that, each kid is vulnerable. Everybody thinks that it's not going to happen to them. Every kid thinks they're savvy, and every parent thinks they know exactly what their kids are up to. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't met one yet that matches that description.
Right.
Parents do not always know what their kids are up to. Kids are never as smart as they think they are. They may be smarter than me, but they're not as smart as they think they are. And and so because of that, everybody winds up vulnerable.
Oh, absolutely.
And the detectives can scare the snot out of you.
Yeah.
I actually have a detective on to scare everybody on a Sunday morning. There's a thought.
I know the one for you.
Well, there you go. We'll talk because I really do want everybody to understand how serious this is because it is scary.
Yes.
It is scary how people are out there trying to get to our kids.
Right.
Yep.
And I hope that everybody's scared by that. I hope our kids are scared by it. So I'm going to pray for that program to get better and stronger, and
I need it. We need it.
For
We
you
really
to
do.
for you to continue to be able to wake people up, and to make them a little bit more wary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that work is never done because technology moves so quickly and adapts so easily to society, and teenagers adapt so quickly that as soon as it's out, they're using it and playing with it and what have you, and going down portals they never need to be going down. And so there's multiple levels of scary, I think, when it comes to technology. And so you're right, we can't educate enough, and constantly trying to be in front of the curve, which is nearly impossible. So
well, I'm going to give you a little, and this hopefully by way of waking people up and scaring people just a little bit. One of my friends here in Joplin runs a computer business, and he is very shrewd, very smart. Well, one of his kids, about a year or 2 years ago, was 12 at the time. Just kind of borrowed his dad's phone one day, and his dad wasn't paying much attention to it. The kid buried an entry on the third page of his dad's apps, and all of a sudden, it became known about 6 or 8 months later that he'd had this one app that he wasn't supposed to have. And as they knew that from his phone and all those things, that wasn't going to happen. So the kid actually found a way around his IT dad.
Right.
Okay, well, all right. So I give him about 6 years now. I don't think that he'll get past his dad for about the next 5 or 6 years, even though he will continue to try.
Right.
But I am going to say that dad, I think he's safe for probably another 6 years because he's redoubled his efforts. But the scary part is that the kids are smart, and I'm also going to say that they will, like every kid in every generation, will get by with whatever they think they can get by with. And so, that's not abnormal.
Yeah.
Think back when you were kids, when I was a kid. Of course we got by with whatever we could get by with, and we did.
Yep.
But the stakes are higher.
Right.
And it's a little scarier.
Right.
So, like I say, even people who know what they're doing can sometimes fall prey to their own kids.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are devious people out there. It's one thing. And it's bad enough that we can all get ourselves in enough trouble with stuff just on our own.
Curiosity,
with our own
right.
curiosity, or typing the wrong thing, or I cannot tell you, a couple times that things that have popped out. I don't even search much anymore because I just was appalled by things that would just show up. When I think that there are people who are out there on the other side of that actively looking
Thousands of
to
them.
deceive kids and to sneak into their lives by portraying themselves as just another 12-year-old or whatever, that is just scary stuff. Very scary stuff.
Yes.
So I hope that every parent and grandparent out there is in a very healthy way, alarmed, scared.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, you got a lot of work to do in that area, my friend.
We do, and like I said, I'm excited about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, our passion kind of lies in that right now.
Good.
It seems to be where
Well,
the
like I
most
say,
work
and,
needs
and
to
I
be.
know that there's some wonderful allies in the community.
Yep.
I give kudos to our, local, law enforcement. Every time I've heard them talk about the thing, I think they do a great job of scaring people, and I'm glad. And they have to have a handle on it, obviously, but they're continually working to try to stay ahead of these creeps.
Right.
I mean, it's just that's the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I hope that they continue to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what else? You got 2 more programs that we haven't talked about yet.
Got fire safety.
Fire
I'm
safety.
retired.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Stop. That's it. That's all we got. That's all I got.
No. Do more.
I'm a retired captain from the Joplin Fire Department. I retired about 4 years ago, and I previously worked with Safe Kids and some of their programs. So when I retired, it was kind of a natural move to fall into the role. So I serve Barton County, Jasper, Newton, McDonald County. We don't hit all the schools, but I hit most of them. We have several different programs depending on my demographic. Pre-K through 2nd grade, we have puppet shows where we teach fire safety. We try to, as with the little kids, we just try to get a few important messages in, what they can retain and take home with them. We send them home with some literature, stuff to talk about with their parents when they get home, something to sit down with. 3rd grade on, we start working on fire escape plans in their house. Every house is different, so I try to spur on a conversation with the parents. We try to get the teens or the young kids. I get them to ask questions with their parents, get them home, get a conversation with them. We also have a smoke detector program for the underserved families. Sometimes further down south, there's a lot of underserved families, and I have a language gap there. So I spend a lot of time down south. Like I said, we have a lot of problems on the fire escape side of it. I run into a lot of kids. The windows are boarded up, multiple family dwellings, 3 or 4 kids in the room, windows boarded up, and so we spend a lot of time down there. We make sure they have smoke detectors, and we do everything we can down there.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of those things I just happened to think about. So we got some lower income families in, a couple of my parishes. Right. And, I mean, I just didn't even think about that. I mean, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things
Right.
I mean, everybody, I think we make some false assumptions in our society. And this false assumption is like, well, I know what's going on in my house.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. Sometimes, I live by myself, and I have to make sure I change my batteries in my fire. And of course, a lot of my system is hardwired, but sometimes when the batteries wear out in the backup, I'm like, okay, well, we got to change those too.
Yeah.
Just in case the power does go out, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, well, there's just all kinds of things to think about, and I think the false assumption there is that. Well, all right, I've dealt with that and it's all okay.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not always for everybody.
Well, a lot of people think it's just poor communities that deal with fires and stuff. I have been to fires in everybody's house, every demographic, every reason, a lot of them electrical problems. We do have a smokehouse too, which comes in really handy with the kids. I believe I've been to your place also.
Oh.
We run the kids through it. I have a smoke machine. I get them down, teach them how to come out of bed, what to do, how to get to the doors, how to decide when to get out your window, when to get out your door, how to unlock your windows. I teach kids how to take the screens off, how to crawl out, what to do in 2-story, what to do when you don't have a window, what to talk with your parents.
Yeah.
I try to catch all the different variables.
Yeah. I'll never forget a few years ago. I mean, this has been, how long have we been doing Stop, Drop, and Roll?
Oh, I was a kid when we were doing it.
I was not. I'm telling you, I was not, because all of a sudden one year I was talking to my little kids, and my little kids were going, so what happens if you have a fire? And it's just like, I mean, and they're just like, if you're on fire, you stop, you drop, and you roll. I'm like, I never heard that one before. And so, I mean, I had to get taught that one as an adult by kids.
Interesting.
So that
Well,
shows to go that, exactly, but
listening.
that shows to go that some of your programs and everything are effective, because when the little kids then teach the adults some of those standard things.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, our fire safety thing was don't play with matches, and that was, you know, that was pretty much it, you know.
Well, and I
But
think
there's
we've
new
seen
things.
that. You know, just not too long ago, there was a fire in Galena, and it was the 9-year-old who got his parents up and out, and he knew the safety plan and knew what to do. And so, you know, that speaks highly of Mark and his program, that it
Yeah.
is being effective with the school
Good.
kids, because they do go home and they
They
probably
teach
fret about it
everybody.
a
Yeah,
little
they
bit,
do
but they
fret a
make
little
their
bit,
plan
yeah.
and know what to do. And
So real quick, we got just a little short time left. So did we do all 5?
Yeah, I'm going to move. I'll just give a brief second because we
Yeah.
got another program we're wanting to be interested in. We're wanting to move into fire or to water safety.
Okay.
We're just moving in this area. Safe Kids has been in the water safety business for a long time. So I will
Yeah,
be at your
there you
school,
go.
a school around you with water safety and events at some point in the future.
Good. Well, something to look forward to. Again, my guest this morning, Jen Black, the Executive Director of the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, and Mark Box, who is the Safe Kids Coordinator. So we are going to be right back after this Mercy Minute. Stick around, and we'll be back to wrap up.
When they discovered there was no hospital, the Sisters of Mercy built one, as they had so many times before, offering healing and hope on the edge of the frontier. Mercy continues to answer the same call to bring care wherever you or your child need it most. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy. A new baby changes the world and each of us. The Sisters of Mercy devoted themselves to offering exceptional maternity and delivery care, training generations of nurses to do the same. Mercy continues to answer the same call, to not only care for your baby, but to cherish them too. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
Well, I think we are all in agreement that one of the most precious things we have as a part of our lives in our community here are our little ones. And so whatever we can do to make their lives a little safer and them a little bit more protected, that's obviously what we're going to do. So we're talking this morning about some of the Safe Kids programs that we have going, and indeed, how do we make our kids' lives safer? So we need to talk to our little ones. We need to talk to our little ones about fire safety. We need to talk to them about cyber safety. We need to talk to them about all the different things in their environment that can sometimes hurt them, or what happens in the unfortunate event that something breaks out and they have to deal with it. So let's continue to do all that we can. I know that Safe Kids here in our own area is continuing to expand what they're going to coach us and teach us about, which is a wonderful thing. Let's continue to watch out for each other, and let's continue to watch out for all of our little ones. They matter, and they are part of the reason why we do what we do. So join us next week for Faith in Our Hometown. Have a blessed Sunday, and let's remember to be good to each other here in our community. God bless.
Thanks for watching. Faith in Our Hometown can be seen Sunday mornings at 6:30 and 9 a.m. on KSN. Brought to you as a community service and sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Joplin.